All right, now we're going to move on to our big Week 3 games, and there's not a lot of them, but they are the biggest ones in our opinion. Starting off, Isaac, what's our first game?
So our first game is 14th ranked LSU playing in Starkville, or Stark Vegas as some would call it, against Mississippi State at 12 p.m. This one will be a good one. I'm super excited about this one. It will be different. It'll be the first year without Mike Leach at head coach. It'll be an SEC game, a little bit emotional in Starkville. Another revenge battle this game. So Mississippi State obviously they're looking to avenge last season. They gave the game up late in the second half last year, which I enjoyed because I was actually at that game in Baton Rouge, which LSU won 31-16. LSU obviously they I don't know what they are at this point. They got handled by Florida State. They beat Grambling 72-10 last week, but it's Grambling. Defense, I don't really trust it. Some people, us included, obviously are saying Mississippi State looks pretty good in the SEC West this year. Of course, they've got a new coach, same system. Traditionally, Mississippi State has been an air raid offense. And so my question becomes, can the LSU secondary hold up? I don't know. I hope so, but after what we saw against Florida State, I'm terrified. ESPN FPI has LSU at 68%. Tigers favored by 10. I've got the first pick on this one. So, man, I'm really torn because I don't want to pick against my guys. Mississippi State, it's in Starkville, home of the Cowbell, air raid offense, weak LSU secondary. State is a physical team on both sides of the ball. I've got the Tigers. I don't think they'll cover. I think they're favored by 10. I like them by 7. I think they'll squeak it out. I like them. I like them to win, but it will be a close game, and the defense will have to make adjustments or they could get throttled, but I like the Tigers in this one.
Yeah, I think this one's going to be a good game, man. No joke. I think this is going to be a good one in Starksville. But I'll say this, the Mississippi State defense looked really good against Arizona last week. They forced 2 to 3 turnovers. If Jaden Daniels isn't locked in, we could see 2 to 3 interceptions in this game. But the counter to that, though, if the Mississippi State defense gets gassed, we could have a good game going into the fourth quarter. So they have to have that endurance to get through this game. The other thing about Mississippi State is that their run game is super solid too. Jalen Wally, their wide receiver, he's gonna give the LSU secondary some big issues. So the LSU red zone offense, this game, it has to be solidified and locked in. They cannot miss opportunities on 4th and short at the goal line at any point in the game like they did against Florida State. And here's my thing for LSU. Special teams, special teams, special teams, baby. You cannot have dropped and muffed punts. You cannot have blocked field goals. You cannot have blocked extra points. Everything you do in this game on special teams has got to be great. But could this be a repeat of FSU? Yes, it will be, because I've got Mississippi State pulling this one out in Starkville this year. So many people have said that they are the dark horse in the West. I believe that they are. I think they're going to come out. They just looked good against Arizona, man. I don't know what it was. They looked confident. They looked good. They're playing for Mike Leach. And boy, I bet they're going to win this game in Starksville. The spread, what was the spread? The spread is LSU by 10. Shoot, I got Mississippi State by 10.
That's definitely an interesting way of turning it around in a sense. Mississippi State is one of those teams who, constantly gives LSU a hard time. And, Mississippi State has been starting to put together a defense, which is very interesting because, although, may rest in peace, Mike Leach never really was a very defensive guy. He was very offensive-minded, but, they're very defensive. They came out with one of the best cornerbacks in the draft, Emmanuel Forbes. It's very hard. It's very complicated to make this pick because of that FSU game. It's very hard to say, if Brian Kelly can really put up against, one of those top-level teams, or at least mid-level. I think this game, I will go ahead and say Brian Kelly pulls it out, only because of Jaden Daniels. I think he kind of had his head knocked around in the FSU game, and he's kind of put it back on. He's a little straightened out now after that Grambling game. So, yeah, I'm going to go LSU.
And I'll answer your question. about why is Mississippi State's defense looking so good this year? Well, their brand new head coach, Zach Arnett, was the defensive coordinator at Mississippi State. So now, obviously, there's a lot more impact and a lot more input into that defense from the head coaching position. So I think they're looking really good, which is, again, why I picked them